Assalamualaikum. We are from Group 18 and we want to present to you about our project, which is Integrated Design Project of EPL and PLC. Now we look at our table of content, which include our group members, objective, case study, experimental setup, video explanation connect to three-phase, Simoto, discussion and conclusion. Okay, now we move on for our first content, which is our group members. For our group member, we have three group members. So, for the first one is Mohamad, Faris Aiman bin Mohamad Nizam. Second one, Fermanshah bin Hasan, and the third one that is me, Mohamad Hakim bin Zinudin. Now we move on to the objective of our project. So for our project, we have three objectives. For the first objective is to analyze the PLC programming using different process description to control an automation system for various applications. The second one is categorize the fundamental of power system and motor control starter components based on theoretical. And the last one is conduct experiments on several types of starting electrical machines, power system components, and the behavior based on calculation and theoretical. Then now we move on to our case study, which have three case study. So for the first one is for DOL, which is direct online starter. So when the start button is pressed, the AC motor starts and remains on until the stop button is pressed. Okay, for the second case study is for forward reverse. When the forward button is pressed, the AC motor begins to rotate in the forward direction. The motor will rotate in the opposite direction when the reverse button is pressed. The stop button will bring the motor to stop in either forward or reverse mode. And the motor can be moved in either forward or reverse direction using an interlocking system. Okay, for the third case study is for reverse 2. The motor will start to rotate in reverse direction after 3 seconds of pressing the reverse button. The stop button will bring the motor to stop in either forward or reverse mode. The motor can be moved in either forward or reverse direction using an interlocking system.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Faris bin Mohamad Nizam. Today I'm going to present about point number 4, which is experimental setup. This is the experimental setup with PLC. Okay, first thing that we need to perform this project is we need 24 volt DC power supply and Omron CP1E. And next we need MCB to control the circuit and MCCB to control the AC motor. Okay, as you can see, the yellow color is for DOL setup and the red color is for forward reverse setup. For DOL setup, we have one relay, one contactor, one thermal overload relay, two indicator light, one start button and one stop button. Okay, for forward reverse setup, we have two contactor, which is one for contactor reverse and another one for forward contactor. Okay, next we have start forward push button and reverse start push button, and we have stop push button, and we have three indicator light. Okay, this is the experimental setup without PLC. Okay, the component that we need to control the DOL and forward reverse starter is MCCB and MCB. Okay, for DOL setup, we need one contactor, one thermal overload relay, one start button, one stop button, and two indicator light. For forward reverse setup, we have two contactor, one for forward contactor and another one for reverse contactor. And then we have one thermal overload relay. Okay, next we have two start button, which is one for forward push button and another one for reverse start push button, and one for stop push button. And next we have three indicator light. Okay, next I will present about point number 5, which is video explanation connect to three-phase AC motor. And this is the three-phase connection for DOL starter. Okay, from three-phase supply, we need to connect the supply to the MCCB, and then the output of MCCB is connected to the contactor. And next, the output of contactor is connected to input Tor, and the output of Tor is connected to the AC motor. Okay, this is the three-phase connection for forward reverse starter. Okay, from three-phase supply, we need connected to the input MCCB, and then the output of MCCB is connected to the forward and reverse contactor. And next, the output of reverse contactor is connect reverse with forward contactor, which are U reverse is connected to the V forward, and the V reverse is connected to the U forward. Okay, next, the output of contactor is connected to the input of Tor, and the output of Tor is connected to the AC motor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Fermanshah bin Hasan, AN 200-131. And without further ado, let's move on to the discussion. So, which control system do we prefer and why? So after conducting this project, we managed to complete both electrical wiring and PLC wiring of both DOL starter and forward reverse starter. And you notice many differences between the presence of PLC and without PLC. Both control systems are very different but conduct the same function, but based on our personal preference, majority of us prefer a control system with the assist of PLC. This is due to the fact that the PLC is more flexible and has better reliability compared to the conventional one. The PLC doesn't consume many wire since we don't use a relay-based control systems. This obviously will make the troubleshooting process more easier by just reconstructing the ladder diagram. Since PLC is using the CPU program, it is really easy to upload and download the required logic, and furthermore, it also less consuming costs, because in the olden days, relay-based are a very expensive process in long run, and it obviously because we use many wire and we need extra tools just to manage and arrange the wire. So PLC were designed to replace the relay-based system, and PLC purchase is like a one-time investment which reduce money consumption during troubleshooting and maintenance. Hence, the reason why we prefer PLC control systems compared to relay-based control system. And during this project, we encountered some challenges while constructing the system, and we struggled a little bit when troubleshooting the error and when constructing the electrical wiring. But when the PLC is involved, the burden was lessening since the troubleshooting process is much more easier. So moving on to the conclusion. In conclusion, we are able to analyze PLC programming using various process descriptions in order to control an automation system for a variety of applications. And based on the project, we can also classify the fundamentals of power system and motor control starter components. And aside from that, each member of the group got the chance to conduct the experiments on various types of starting electrical machines, power system components, theoretically and practically. And finally, we are able to demonstrate the ability to apply theoretical knowledge of electrical power systems and industrial motor control starters, and thus work efficiently as an individual and as a member or a leader in solving relative problems. And so that's all from us. At the end of the video, we have attached some videos of each case study for further references, and I think that's all from us. Thank you.
Okay. Run. Stop. Stop. Start. NCB. Okay. Jap. Start. Ni reverse. Start. Hi, Hakim. Okay. Reverse. Okay.